everybody, my name is Nozibele Kangana Mayaba. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I have the one and the only SG Mayaba.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
What was that?
I am back. I'm happy with the fact that you're saying I'm one and only. I've been competing with Amabuto lately.
Hi guys, let me just explain. Baby, there was no one that can match up to you. No one can match up to you. Don't worry. Lando, that guy is very far away. And we're talking about the Zulu King, the new Zulu King, guys. Kaloku Landi, it's national news. So, excuse me, we had to watch it. It's very interesting. For me, as a person that was born in 1990,
guys,
I've never been in a situation where I see a king.
When we slept yesterday, you did not know whether he was ever involved in any kind of a relationship. But when we woke up this morning, as early as 5 a.m., you were already depressed because you, in the middle of the night, you did some FBI work.
I wasn't depressed.
Ladies.
Can I just say something?
If you are a guy and you are looking at this, just know that with these ones, when they want to, find out the truth,
School, you can literally go to Google. I wasn't even looking specifically for that piece of information. It was readily available.
So you didn't sleep. So the time I thought that we were sleeping.
It was this morning.
But at 5 a.m.?
It was not at 5 a.m.
What time was that?
It was 8. We woke up at 8. School, don't do that. Anyway, guys, congratulations to this newly appointed Zulu King.
Say it with all your heart.
Thank you with my heart.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to the newly appointed Zulu King. We wish him all the best.
Don't say we wish him.
Guys, anyway, guys, today we wanted to do this video. We wanted to do a live update. Do you know that we've been with Amy for 4 months? It's 4 months this month. So we took a mid. I know. We took a mid-Jan. If you do not know who Amy is, or you don't know why we took Amy and why we're raising Amy, there is a video that I did separately. Live update raising Amy. Make sure that you look out for that, or you go back to that video. So I just wanted to do a live update. How has it been? Some of the pros and cons, some of our highlights, and some of the things that we've learned along the way. And also, most importantly, I would like to have a conversation about getting ready for our own children or child. Raising our own. Are we ready for that? Have we had that conversation? And so 4 months down the line, how has it been for you, dude?
Well, it's exciting, I must say, on my side. It's really been exciting times, and it was really a blessing in disguise to have her. It's just been really merry and happy times. For me, it's,
What has been some of your highlights that you can just pick out from the last 4 months, and then we'll talk about some of the lessons that we've learned along the way.
Well, I think for me, I think it's the behavioral trends and some of the attitudes that in the past we used to show to one another when we are in disagreement. So and thirdly, the new ways of dealing with things now, which is actually for the better. So there are more positives than negatives on my side, and I don't think that there are any negatives anyway.
I think for me, she's just, obviously we already had color between the two of us, between our personalities.
What is color now?
Color is just, there was a lot of personality between the two of us. We will never get bored with just the two of us in this house.
Oh yeah.
We never. And in fact, she just brought a new flavor into the mix.
Oh yeah.
Which I was quite concerned about it at first, because when I look at my family, I often say between my mom, myself, and her, we're exactly the same person. And it's usually said,
in hindsight, it should have been easier for you to deal with her and deal with her because you.
I didn't think it would. I think because usually people say abantu abafanayo, people of similar nature, they don't get along. Like mom and I have a great relationship, but it has not always been like that. Yeah, man. Being raised by mama was very tough. Yeah, man. You say what you do what she says. Yeah, man, and no questions asked. So you don't have an opportunity to voice out like how you feel. And even now as an adult, like I always need to count what I say or mind like how I say it. I can't say to mama, this is how I feel. Yeah, man. No, it's not about how you feel. Who are you to feel? Yeah, man, you can't feel mama. Yeah, man. But it's a challenge that I enjoy because at the same time I'm cognizant of how I let to Amy be. Like Amy is very free spirited. Like she'll say exactly how she feels. I was just saying to like guys on social media on Facebook. So I went to pick her up on Friday. Yeah, man. So her teacher is like, girl, like she's gonna keep you on your toes. And I'm like, you don't have to say anything further. I know what you mean. And then, so there's a boy called Joshua in her school. Yeah, man. And then Joshua's mom is very, like, she's a bodybuilder. Very tough and very bulky. Yeah, man. Didn't we walk up to her and ask her if she's a man? I'm like, you can't do that. Yeah, man. So she basically went to ask Mana, are you Joshua's dad? Yeah, man. And I know it was not a language barrier because this girl knows the difference between mother and father. Yeah, man. Yeah. She knew exactly what she meant. She was just confused, but lady, like, what's going on? Yeah, man.
I'm actually not surprised because our neighbors.
Oh gosh, that's another case, guys.
Our neighbors. The husband is quite tall and
big.
Proper blessed.
Yes.
He's tall, probably almost 2 meters tall. Eh?
And then the wife is like
1.5, 1.4.
Tiny.
And short and tiny.
Tiny. And then
doesn't Emil ask the wife, where is your dad?
And then the second day, and then she saw the
child.
No, she saw the dad. You know, the dad, the husband. She saw the husband the second day, and then she asked the husband, "Where's your daughter?"
Yeah, where's your daughter?
Guys, and that's the thing about it is that some people are like feel I should reprimand her, but at the same time, it's the innocence of a child where she's very inquisitive and she's in
that stage in her life where she's starting to see things. To see things and
question things. Yeah, man. Like obviously this is a totally different example. Every time now she's in the why stage, everything that you ask her to do, she'll ask you why. Even don't jump off like the sofas. Why? Amy, you need to go and sleep. Why? Amy, you can't have tea now. Why? So everything constantly it's like why? Okay.
Have to explain.
We have to explain all the time, right? And then some of your concerns, has there been any concerns or lessons learned? I mean, from my side, I think it was from the discipline issue. Because I think we've gotten so used to us being together, so babili, just the two of us, that if there's something, for example, that you are doing, then I'm like, school? Like, what the hell? Yeah, one.
Don't you know what I paid to lead sis?
School?
You don't.
But I saw you when you were doing like when you said as an
and Pazamisa has
ukwada.
Yo. Ngiyacela ba.
Uzongiqoqa ngami ngo.
Kusule bani? Who's the Suzman here? Sorry, I'm started down a bit.
Okay, cut. I think the concern or some of the things that I've had to learn along the way is pertaining to discipline. Because, for example, we were so used to just us being together without anyone. And for example, if you did something wrong, for example, Kanye, I saw you doing something, it would be easy for me to say, it's cool. Like, what the hell, dude? Yeah, man. Or a simple thing, even when I'm joking between the two of us, I'm like, yeah, dika show me. Yeah, man. And then she started doing that.
Yeah.
But, Uncle's cool, yeah, dika. And then, what the hell? Yeah, man, I'm like, what's wrong with you, dude? Yeah, man. So I've had to be mindful in terms of how I relate, yeah, man, to you as my husband in front of her, yeah, man. And even though sometimes I'm like, dude, stop, okay. I usually have to just really restrain myself. Up until the point it's just the two of us. I think that was a lesson learned for me.
Yeah, I think on my side the difficulty that I identified is, and which is, really it's a struggle. So it's about, when do you discipline, or when do I say no to no's, that you can't do that in the presence of him. So do I then wait up until we are just together? Is it gonna have the very same significance it would have had I reprimanded you at that particular moment? And I think it's just something that we'll have to learn the art of getting it right.
No, well, I've had to learn. Honestly, like, I'm the biggest culprit because obviously I'm vocal. I'm like, hey, boss, cool. It's cool, son,
and this one is watching and
listening. And she'll do the same thing and think obviously it's right. So I think that's been the biggest lesson from my side. And let me just say also, I've had fear of raising her. I think at first it was very exciting. She comes in, I'm ready, I'm gonna have like a girl in the house, another girl in the house. Every now and then, like when I go to the shops, I'm seeing like really nice, pretty dresses. And I'll buy them for her. Like, she looks so cute. And then up until a time where there was a particular moment where I thought to myself, this actually goes beyond this. I'm actually raising someone. And that like really shook me. I'm raising someone. I'm instilling values, whether I'm aware of that or not.
Yeah.
I am literally raising someone who's going to be someone tomorrow, if that makes sense. And that freaks me out sometimes.
Yeah, no.
But what kind of impact am I going to have on her? What kind of impact are you going to have on her? What kind of person is she going to turn out to be like at the end of the day or tomorrow? Yeah, man. And that scares me.
And the most important stage in instilling discipline is actually now. Because once you lose it now, unfortunately, forget that you'll be able to get it right at the teenage stage.
Yeah. So with now 4 months of being parents, but also within our marriage, within our relationship, have we ever, talked about, having our own kids? Are we looking forward to having our own kids? Has Imi ignited, that eagerness to be parents? I'll start with you.
The truth is, I am ready to have a child.
Okay.
And then there's an honest truth. So now, an honest truth, it scrutinizes the journey that I have walked all these years up until today. Things that I had to come across. And also, in my early ages of my upbringing, because as I was growing up, I was a child myself, but at the same time, I became a parent whilst I was a child myself. So when I was 10 years old, my sister brought a child at home and then she left it there. So at the time, it was just me, my mom, and my brothers, my two brothers. But these were not my direct brothers. So they were my indirect brothers. So there was always someone extra at home that my mom was actually taking care of. And my mom used to go to work from Monday in the morning and would come back on Friday and spend a weekend with us. So during that time, so when, let's call him Darlington, they use the English name so that they don't know. So when Darlington joined us, he was only 3 months old. And because my mom was working in the kitchen, so she did not have money to employ someone to look after this baby. The only option was that this baby stays at home with me and my other brothers.
Yeah.
And she made sure, and I must say that, I mean, in terms of the key things that are important in raising kids were there. Number one, the shelter. Number two, school, or food. And number three, school. And as well as protecting those kids, especially the moral innocence of children. So she did those things very well. But she did not have the capacity to look after all of these children from a monetary point of view. So it was a bit of a challenge for her. So, and hence I've had to look after. So I would wake up in the morning, prepare for myself, like you do with Uwe. Prepare myself before I go to school.
How old were you?
So I was 10 years. No, sorry, I was, she was 85, so was 8, 9. So I would prepare myself, prepare him, so that I drop him off. So there was a family that was actually looking after these kids. And then when I come back from school, I would do the same thing, go and fetch wood, because unfortunately, all of these. So fetch wood, and your kamanzi, and make sure that these things are here, and then go, and your tata, and then again, I'm talking about a baby. So all of that, it then fleshes, or it goes to this package that I call honest truth. So we were sleeping, and I had umdana a timla, and I just didn't know what was going on. And when I checked, there was this white thing coming out, and it was like thick. And when I looked at this thing, it was looked like a snake, and I pulled it like that and threw it there. And I had to call Umelwane in the morning to come and help me identify what that was. And it turned out that it being chulud.
It was a worm.
It was scary, a worm, yeah. It was really scary. So all of that then comes, comes back to my mind, and so I think about all of these things. But it's not a right way to approach it. And hence I would say, let's focus on this box that I call just the truth.
No, but then I feel like it's very important because whether you like it or not, there is a level of influence that it will have if we don't, deal with it, okay, we talk about it. Yeah, man. If it's something that's still, you remember years later. I mean, you're talking about a person that's like in their 30s now. But you still remember it, particularly when I talk about having children. So, meaning that it does have, some level of significance in terms of, do you worry about the type of, father you have been and the type of father you still want to be? For me, whether or not I'm ready to have a child, I don't know. And do you realize, I just thought about it the other day, Bana, we actually have not had a conversation of whether or not we want to have children prior getting married. Can you remember a conversation about us having children when we were dating? No, and I'll be honest, man, I think there's a part of me that did that deliberately, because even then I was not sure whether or not I want a child of my own. And I don't know, the reason for that, there's a lot. Now that you're talking about, raising your nephews and having to raise, now that you're talking about having to raise your nephews, it has me thinking as well that it's a similar background, of being in a situation where, okay, even though I did not have, sleepless nights, taking out the worms, out of their noses, but I've been in a situation where I'm stressed, I've had to worry about, the finances of our household, and the minute I knew, if God allowed me to get out of that situation, I don't want to go back. I don't want that sort of responsibility again. Do you get what I mean? And some person might say, but then you're raising with Imi, so what's the difference? I think now it's a point where I voluntarily, agreed. It was not forced upon me, but I need to, help assist to Imi. And also, I also have a cushion about Imi is not my biological daughter. So she'll continue to have umama and dada. At any given time, she might just decide she wants to go to them, or they say, okay, now she can go back to them. So I now worry bana ngumntu lona ophuma kumu, and that I have to be responsible for.
So on my side, when you asked me this question, I spoke about two things. One, the truth and the honest truth. So in these two things, I've had to, bear out there in terms of what are some of the reasons that have affected my emotional ability, because all of this is actually attached to emotions. So we talk about the emotional bank out of 10, how much is left. So it's not full. It's not 10 out of 10. But the situation is not that bad either. So that means there's work that I need to do to make sure that I feel the emotional side of it up. So, and a lot of work is actually attached to me and not to anybody else. So there are things that I need to go back and face them head on, like David facing Goliath. So the question that I have on my side to you is, did the fact that you have had to at some point conduct an abortion that had any impact in your emotional ability? And the reason why I'm asking this question is that all that you said in how I am interpreting it, I am getting a lot of things that are outside you as a person and your emotional side of it as a woman.
Okay.
Somebody listening to this conversation would think that the person who's more of a woman here is me, Skumbuzo, as opposed to you. Because the reasons that you are giving, they are attached to things as opposed to you.
Okay. It's very interesting that you're asking that, because I had an abortion in 2014, right? And when I found out that I was pregnant, there was no other decision for me. Obviously there is a decision whether or not you have an abortion. You keep the baby or not keep the baby. But for me, in that circumstances, I was like, no, the one option that I have is for me to terminate. Okay? And went to the doctor, no second guessing it, went to the doctor, went to terminate, and that was it. It was only years later when I was going through counseling, but even then, the one thing that I kept on going back to, with counseling, is the fact that, I was infected and this person left me, because I kept on saying to her, abortion did not affect me. at all. Yeah, man, because it's a decision that I was happy with. Yeah, man. Yes, here and there I will have moments of, oh, I wonder how would they have turned out? Yeah, man, how old would they have been? Gatini. But whether or not would I have changed that decision, I don't think so. Now, the interesting question is, did that experience take away my emotional side when it comes to pregnancy, when it comes to having a baby? I don't know. I really don't know.
So in your explanation, I've just identified quite a number of things, but I could be very wrong. So one of them, you said you went for counseling. So you were asked by the person that was conducting that counseling whether that affected you, and you said no, the pregnancy did not affect you. Now let's check it back to me. So do I know why my emotional bank is running dry? Truth is, I don't know. But at some point I will have to face whatever it is that I'm avoiding. There are certain things that I'm avoiding. So facing them and having a conversation with somebody will help me identify that which is affecting or is milking my emotional side dry.
Yeah.
So I'll have to at some point identify with the help. So on your side, you are saying that you went there knowing that this did not impact you. The questions that I have is, what type of questions did the person that was conducting that counseling ask you? Because when you sit down with the person and having that conversation, you are actually trying to identify things that were hidden to you. So let me put it out there in a more proper manner. So when you drive a car, there are two sides that you clearly see. One is the front one, and the second one is the back one, because you have mirrors that are assisting you to see that. But there's a dangerous side, or there are dangerous sides that you don't see. This side, and at some point you need to do. There's a movement that is required of you in order for you to see that. So on your side, to see those blind spots, you need to have a conversation with somebody, to maybe counseling sessions, or somebody that who's going to help you identify that. So I have an issue, or I'm actually not understanding it better, the fact that you're saying you went there knowing exactly that. So let me ask this question differently. It's going to be a direct question. I'm not going to ask you to explain. Did the fact that you did an abortion affect the way you view children? Yes or no?
I don't know. And that's the honest truth.
Yeah. At least we agree that there's a difference between truth and the honest truth. Now you are telling me the honest truth.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something that I still need to go, like a process that I still need to go through. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, and I don't know, but also I have intentionally made it a point that I don't want to know for a long period of time up until now. Do you get what I mean?
So what if I say to you, it is a subject that you are trying to avoid indirectly and not directly. But you just avoid that because you don't want somebody to tell you that at some point you had done something wrong.
Most probably. For now, I'm at a point where I'm not ready for the emotions that it might evoke.
Yeah.
I don't know what emotion it might evoke, but I'm not ready for them. While I'm also under those thoughts, there is a level of feeling guilty because similarly to how, we were talking about finances the other day, and now I'm still under the understanding that I have time. If I had to take out a portfolio with an investment company for 10 years, 40 is not bad. When it matures. But for you, 10 years is 54. And then the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there is a level of feeling guilty that I need to be fair in terms of, if now I decide, okay, I want to have a child at 35, what does that, wait, what does that mean? I'm just making an example. What does that mean for you? So there is a level of like, am I being fair? Yes, as a woman, I have every right to feel that I need to be ready emotionally, all of that. But also as a partner, in a marriage, I also need to be cognizant of this is also pertaining to you.
Let me refer back to what I said earlier on. Person listening to this conversation would think that between the two of us, I am the female and you are the male. And that's just my take on this. I'm not saying believe that. I'm not saying don't believe it either. But I'm just saying that I think somebody listening to this conversation would think that I'm more female.
Why is that?
Okay. So the reasons of you wanting to bow down to the fact that at some point we'll have to have a child as soon as possible, they are linked to reasons that are mostly and many a times being given by a male species. So you are now referring to the age factor, and you start calculating. The reasons that I was gonna give you is that on my side, up until such time you are ready, not financially, not you having money to buy expensive things for the child up until a certain age, but up until such time that you're saying that I am ready to be a mom and be what is called mom.
I'm just bringing logic into the conversation.
The person that should be bringing that logic to the conversation is me. The right time for Skhumbuzo to have a male to have a child does not exist. But for a female, they say that at least when you reach 42, 43, 44, 45, you need to be careful to have a child at that time of your life because of certain many things that are attached to how you were constructed as a female. So if you don't want to have a child now, up until 38, 39, 40, 41, up until 43. So your reasons must never be attached to somebody else. When you want to do something, it must be about you and not about somebody else.
Let me be very honest. At the same time, I don't want you having to have like a 10-year-old being a 60-year-old and having to go a creech, and I was like, oh, is this your grandfather?
So tell me something.
He must be baby. And
Tell me about your dad. Let's talk about your dad.
That's exactly what I'm going to.
So your dad, at 65, he had a child. How?
No, how old was he? I think it was around early 50s. No, actually, like close to 60. Yeah, close to 60.
So, secondly, tell me that you don't know any male species that had a child at 70 years old.
I just don't want that.
Okay. So you don't want that for me, or you don't want that for us, or for you?
For us, I just don't want that for us. I don't want. I can't, like, it's cool. I can't imagine myself having, like, being 42 and having a 1-year-old.
Okay. You continue to give me the external factors as opposed to you who knows.
Tell you what. Okay, do it like this.
Yeah.
Ask me something direct again. That will be an example of something that relates to my own feelings.
No, I think I did ask you that question around the child. You said, honestly, you don't know.
Okay.
But you continuously move away again. Each time I ask you certain questions, you're not coming towards who knows where Nosy is at regarding who she is and her emotional being.
Regarding
the feeling
the child.
side, yes.
I don't know.
I think it was a fair conversation in the sense that we both know what to do. This conversation does not end here. There are things that we both need to do to face. So there are things that we both need to face head on in our minds and address. So let me ask you this question. So if it happens that you, in 3 months' time or a month's time, you become pregnant, what do you think will be your first reaction?
Just saying that my stomach turned. I don't know. Like, I'll be like, that will scare the living crap out of me.
I think there are a lot of learnings from this. One, the people that you think that they are strong, they're not always strong in reality.
No, it's not.
And secondly, there are people that are very good at hiding certain scars amongst them.
I want to play like what you mean. This chair is very nice, by the way. Okay.
So,
Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time. You won't be in the next video. Look. You can't always
but
be.
Please, Toy, I need those placards.
You can't.
I want to come back.
School, you can't.
I think I love this conversation.
No.
I get to see the other side of you, so I need to
I
come
am
back
always one-sided. There's no other sides. One-sided.
Let's come back here.
Thank you very much. Please say bye to the people. Until next time, guys. See you.
Bye-bye.
What was that? Bye, guys.